Hello everyone. Today I'll be presenting on Figma, which has become one of the most popular design tools in recent years. If you have ever seen a mobile app, a website, or even a digital poster, there's a good chance Figma was used in the process of creating it. In this session, I'll explain what Figma is, its key features, the advantages it offers compared to other tools, and the common ways people use it. I'll also share why it has gained such popularity among students, startups, and even big tech companies. Towards the end, I'll even give you a short demo so you can see how it actually works in practice. Figma is essentially a web-based UI and UX design tool. UI stands for user interface, the visual part of an app or website that we interact with. UX stands for user experience, how smooth and enjoyable it feels to use. Now, what makes Figma different is that it's completely online and cloud-based. Unlike traditional software like Photoshop, Illustrator, or even Sketch, you don't need to install large programs or worry about saving files locally. You simply log in through your browser and your projects are available anywhere. Whether you're at home, on a school computer, or even borrowing a friend's laptop, Figma supports the entire design workflow. um, from basic wireframes, which are like rough sketches of an app, all the way to interactive prototypes that feel like real apps before they're built. This makes it not just a design tool, but also a collaboration platform. One of the most powerful aspects of Figma is real-time collaboration. Imagine Google Docs, but for design. Multiple teams can open the same file and work together. You actually see their cursors moving around, making changes live. This avoids the classic problem of emailing files back and forth and losing track of versions. Another important feature is vector-based design. This means that everything that you create is mathematically scalable. For example, if you design a logo in Figma, it can be resized from a tiny app icon to a giant billboard without losing sharpness. Prototyping is also built in. Instead of static images, you can link screens together so it feels like you're actually clicking through an app or website. This is super useful for testing ideas before coding starts. Figma is also cross-platform. It works on Windows, Mac, Linux, and even directly in the browser. So no matter what system your team uses, you're covered. Finally, version control and comments make collaboration much easier. You can see who made what changes, roll back to older versions, and leave feedback right on the design. No need for endless screenshots and long email chains. The advantages really show why Figma has grown so quickly. First, you don't need to install heavy software, which saves time and makes it beginner friendly. Second, it's perfect for teamwork. Whether you're a designer, developer, or project manager, everyone can open the same file and contribute. For instance, developers can inspect design specs directly in Figma without needing a separate handoff tool. Another huge advantage is reusable components. Say you design a button once, you can reuse it across your entire project, and if you update it later, it changes everywhere. This saves hours of repetitive work. The free tier is another reason students and small teams love Figma. You get access to almost all the core features without spending money, which lowers the barrier to entry. And of course, it's cloud-based. You can access your work from anywhere, even on tablets or phones, which is very useful when presenting designs on the go. Let's compare Figma with some of its competitors like Adobe XD and Sketch. Adobe XD is a strong tool, but real-time collaboration isn't built in by default. You need plugins or add-ons. Sketch, on the other hand, is very popular among Mac users, but it only works on Mac OS, which makes it less flexible for teams using different systems. Figma, in contrast, is cloud first. This means as soon as you save something, it's instantly available to your teammates. Collaboration is seamless and doesn't require extra steps. That's why many companies switching to remote or hybrid work have chosen Figma as their go-to tool. So where is Figma actually used? There are several common scenarios. The most obvious one is for designing websites and mobile apps. Everything from the look of a login page to the flow of an entire shopping app. It's also widely used for creating wireframes and prototypes, which help teams test ideas before investing in development. Instead of coding for weeks, you can click you can create a clickable prototype in a few hours. Another use case is collaborative design reviews. Instead of presenting static slides, you can invite stakeholders into the file. They can comment directly on the design. For example, a manager might suggest changing a color, or a developer can highlight a technical constraint. And finally, for students and beginners, Figma is an excellent learning tool. Since it's free and easy to use, it's perfect for building portfolios and practicing UI UX design. Now, let's move on to a demo.
Okay, now I'm going to show you a demo of how to create a login page using Figma. So first, we can create a frame. So a frame is like a page of the website or mobile application. We can create a number of frames in Figma. To create a frame, press the button F on your keyboard, and then you can drag based on the size of the frame. So this looks fine. Now, so this will be the main login page. Now let's create another home page in the same dimensions. We can also change the color of the frame by clicking the frame and then moving to the design tab. So here, let's change the color to light blue. Yeah, that looks much better. Let me just copy this. Okay. Now, uh, let's create a button. So first, let's create the login button. So to create a button, you click the button R and you can drag based on the size of the button you want. So this size looks fine. Let's name this button login. We can also increase the size of the text. Okay. Now let's create the username and the enter username and enter password text fields. So for that, we can press the R button again. Now let's add some text. So to add text, we'll press the button T and we can click wherever we want the text to appear. So here let's enter username, drag it in the right location. And here let's write enter password. Let me set login page. Now, so now let's create the welcome page. So for the welcome page, let's just add uh, one piece of text. Welcome to my app. Remember that T is used for adding text. Button T. So now, next task is to connect both these pages. So when I click login, it should go to the welcome page. Let's add one more button before actually doing the connections. We'll add a button called return to login page. Return to login. Okay. Now to create the connections, we can go to prototype and so uh, so now you have to decide where the connection has to occur. So now my intended connection is when I click the login button, then it should go to the welcome page. So let's hover over the login button, click this plus button, and then drag it to this page. So now the connection has been made, and we have one more connection to do. So the second intended connection that I have is when I click return to login, then it must go back to the login page. So now let's click this plus button, and our basic prototype is done. So now let's demo it. To demo, you can click the start button. Let's demo it. Okay. So now when I click login, it will go to the welcome page. When I click return to login, it comes back to the login page. And this is just a basic set of features that I demonstrated. There are much more complex features like adding images, creating components, creating reusable components, uh, and like creating a number of frames and like much more. So thank you for tuning into this demo, and see you guys next time.